In this video, we're going to be talking about function modifiers. We're going to be going over exactly what function modifiers are in Solidity, as well as we'll be looking at an example of how to implement one within our smart contract. Now, function modifiers are very important, especially considering the fact that they eliminate redundancies within our code. Now, no matter what programming language you're developing in, it is always an essential goal to eliminate as many possibilities for bugs to come into our code. This is where function modifiers allow us to be as efficient as possible within Solidity in creating our smart contracts. Modifiers are quite commonly used, and learning how to use them effectively is an essential part in becoming a smart contract developer. But before we jump into the video, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button as well as that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to get all my videos as soon as they come out. Also, leave any comments in the comment section if you have anything to comment about this video, or leave any suggestions that you may have about any videos that I should make on Solidity or anything about smart contracts. Alright, so jumping straight into remix. So function modifiers allow us to separate and reuse logic within our code that we're going to be using throughout our smart contract. Alright, so this is what I mean by when I said earlier in the intro that function modifiers eliminate redundancies in our code. Okay, so I'm going to start off by creating my contract, and I'm just going to name it my contract. Alright, so from here, I'm going to declare my first variable, which is just going to be my administrator address. Now, function modifiers can essentially be viewed as a prerequisite function to our actual function. Now, when we use the modifier keyword, we're essentially defining a new function, but we're adding it to our smart contract. So they are solely used as a way to reduce the amount of code within our contract. That is the essential purpose of function modifiers, nothing else really. Okay, now the name of our modifiers is arbitrary. So you could call your function modifier anything that you like. It does not really matter. Just like you could call a function anything that you like. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create my modifier. So I'm going to declare modifier, and I'm going to call it only admin. All right, so I'm going to require that message.sender is going to be equal to my admin. Okay. And one important feature of declaring function modifiers is an underscore and the semicolon. Now, every modifier has to end with this underscore and this semicolon, all right? So do not forget it. So by adding a function modifier to any other function within our smart contract, you can essentially imagine that internally the Solidity compiler is going to take all of the code out of our function and add it to the modifier in place for the underscore. Now, once the modifier is attached to a function that we'd like to associate it with, the underscore will tell Solidity to execute the code within the function. All right, so next I'm going to create my function, and I'm going to call it deposit. Okay. Now the parameter for this function is going to be an unsigned integer, and I'm going to call it amount. Now I'm going to declare this function external as well as payable, and it's going to return an unsigned integer, and this unsigned integer is going to be my amount. Now, in order to actually call my function modifier, I need to declare it when declaring my function types. So I'm going to call only admin right here, and I'm going to leave the parentheses blank. So let's go ahead and deploy this contract. Now, as you can see, my contract has been deployed, and let's go ahead and deposit a certain amount. And as you can see, we actually get an error here. So in this statement, we are requiring that message.sender is equal to admin, but we never actually declared that to be true. Now, if you don't know about constructor functions, go ahead and hit this link, and it'll take you to a video in which I explain exactly what constructor functions are and why they are important in Solidity. But in a nutshell, a constructor function is used to initialize state variables within a contract. So that's exactly what we need to do in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and declare a constructor function, and I'm going to declare it public, and I'm going to set admin equal to message.sender. So let's go ahead and redeploy this contract. It looks like it deployed successfully. Now let's go ahead and send the same amount. And notice how it goes through. So to sum it all up, function modifiers allow us to separate and reuse code throughout our smart contract. This in turn allows us to eliminate redundancies within our smart contract, essentially allowing for a more efficient code for us to develop. Remember that modifiers are used quite commonly, and becoming familiar with them is a very important part in becoming a smart contract developer. So there you have it. We have officially implemented function modifiers within our smart contract. Now, once again, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button as well as that subscribe button and that notification bell if you appreciated this content and you got something from it. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.